Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Talk Shop Live with Coach Celeta here. I hope you guys are having a great evening. You know what we're going to be talking about tonight because we're continuing with our ebook, uh, Stress Free Living, right? Um, we're on chapter 7 now, which is awesome. First of all, let me go ahead and put in here my website where you can purchase a copy of, excuse me, did I spell that right? Let's see. Let's make sure I did that right. MyNews.com. If you wanted to purchase a copy of this ebook, definitely take time out and go check out our website. Check out some of the blogs on there. Maybe we need to discuss some of the blogs on there. Again, hello, ma'am. How are you? How are you? Um, I you guys don't understand. I was sitting here looking at some stuff and I got kind of sidetracked a little bit. It's like I gotta get ready, I got a show to do, I got a show to do. So um I went on and went through some stuff and still making sure I have everything I need. But like I said, let's go ahead and get started here. I have to put my little container box down there. Again, I wish I could show you guys exactly what I'm talking about while we're going through this, but I can't. It won't let me. Um, and I'm not using this other side. I mean, I'm not using my other platform. Now, do not forget Monday. Monday, you guys, is our webinar. Okay. Do not forget Monday is the webinar. Okay. For February. So this webinar is probably going to be more of a workbook type or worksheet type. So I'm gonna try not to no, I'm gonna have to. We're going to do some worksheets. Our slides are going to be probably pertaining to worksheets that we're going to fill out. But what I want you to do is, if you're planning on being part, once I send you guys the invite, if you're planning on being part of the class, the webinar or the presentation, let me know so that I can go ahead and email you the the uh, the forms, the worksheets prior. So if you have an opportunity to go ahead and print them out, you can, or um, you can wait till later. You can probably use your notebook and then go back and download the sheets, and then you can go back and answer them the way that you want to. Okay. So again, thank you guys for hanging out with us here on um, Talk Shop Live. Um, you guys already know everything is still the same. Nothing's changed for February just yet. I'm going to leave all the prices the way everything is when you go on the website. When you look at the dresses, if you're still interested in the wrap dresses, everything is going to still stay the same for the month of February. I'm not going to change anything too much for the month of February. Um, uh, but yeah, so if you, like I said, if you want a copy of the ebook, hit me up. We can get you a copy of the ebook. Um, on our other show, which is the Empower Her talk show that I do on Public Access TV, we're doing the other book. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to reverse it. I have plenty of ebooks. Okay, so we'll never run out of situations or information to talk about. We also have some guests that's going to be coming on the Empower Her talk show. Um, that we're going to be talking about different things that deal with women, period. Because you know I'm all about my sisters, right? So we're going to go ahead and get started because I don't want to keep you guys long. You know I love to talk. Okay. Let's see. Okay, good, good. Checking at that time. Okay, so tonight we're on chapter 7. We've done good, you guys. We have covered a lot, and I didn't realize how much we've covered. The last thing we talked about was chapter 6, which talked about nurturing relationships. We talked about how to deal with toxic relationships, how important it is for us to have a networking, collaboration with people, being able to interact with people. We talked about communication because we know how important communication is, right? We talked about Nonverbal. We talked about verbal. We talked about active listening. We talked about how important it is in stressful situations being able to communicate with people. Um, all of that is very, very important. And let's see what else we covered on this one. Um, oh yeah, having a support system. We talked directly, definitely about having someone you can talk different situations with, okay, and you're like-minded, and having the confidentiality, because to me that's important. If we're in a group and we all together, I think it's very important that we're able to share things with each other without being concerned that someone else will get that information. So I'm big on kind of keeping things within the group. Um, and having being able to be confidential, having that uh that gift to be confidential with people's personal information is very, very important. um so that's important when it comes to actually finding your tribe. In other words, find the people that you want to be around, because believe it or not, a lot of people, and I like the, I want to talk positive, but I want to also, there's a light side and there's a dark side to anything, right? So the dark side is lots of people try to pretend like they, you know, excuse me, they really part of, they really want to be part of what you're doing and all that. And reality is, no, they really don't. Okay, they really don't. They want to, if they want to be part of what you're doing, you have to pick out whether or not they're authentic with it. Okay, that's a big thing, being authentic. um and your energy, you have to know that you have to use your discernment, right? You have to use your intuition. Okay, hold up. Why did my show go off? No, what happened? Hold up, you guys. Mm, okay, what happened? No sources. Okay, let me go back in here again. No, why it says leave show? No, I didn't want to leave the show. What? Okay, hold up, you guys. There we go. I don't know what that was. Okay. All right. I apologize for that. But anyway, well, like I was saying, you want to be able to find friends that confidants, in other words. And these people can work in the way that's going to make you a better person, because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for someone who's going to make you a better person, and you want to be able to make that person a better person. So you want to be very, very careful of who you're bringing in your life, because I'm telling you, it's very, very important, right? So the benefits of flexibility. Now we're going to talk a little bit about flexibility. So I'm going to be highlighting as I go. So it says here, flexibility is an essential quality that empowers women in their everyday lives. Okay, being able to be flexible, right? Particularly in navigating the complexities of modern existence. So you got to be able to navigate around and move things, right? Embracing flexibility allows for more adaptable mindset, enabling women to respond to challenges with resilience. So, whenever you're able to say a situation happens and you got to quickly make a decision on how you're going to take care of that thing, you have to be quick on your feet and in your mind, right? When faced with unexpected situations, those who cultivate flexibility can shift their approaches, right? Which not only alleviates stress, but also enhances overall confidence. So, whenever you can be able to be flexible, something happens and you have to flip around and do something different. I mean, it does. It makes you feel like, okay, this might not work, but this over here will work. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a possibility that you, and it's always people say, well, you don't need a plan B. Yeah, you do. You need a plan B when something else goes wrong, right? You need a plan B, no matter what. Have a backup plan for anything that you're doing, okay? And it's not that you're not sure that it's going to work, it's just the ideal that you should have it regardless, right? And being flexible is part of being that plan B, right? This ability to pivot, oh, that's that word I love. The ability to pivot in response to change is a vital skill in both personal and professional atmospheres or environment. So, yes, definitely, 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 you have to be able to do that. The benefits of flexibility extends beyond just mere adaptability. They foster a sense of empowerment. Yeah, because I'm in control. If I'm in a position, if I'm in the driver's seat, right? If something happens, I have to be able to move it around to get it where I needed to get up and keep driving because that's what it does. It puts you, it keeps you, you can back yourself and your resilience. Okay, here I go, bounce right back up in there. Go ahead and do it, right? You're able to do that. Women who practice being flexible often find that they can manage their time and priorities more effectively. Yes, yes, yes. This enhanced control leads to improved self esteem. You feel much better, and they achieve personal goals without the burden of rigid expectations. Yes, it's good to be, we talked about on my other show, we talked about having goals, right? Having goals, time block, and whole nine yards. We know how important those things are focused and disciplined. If there is a need for you to switch up, you have that leeway. So, for instance, when we talk about being able to be flexible, so for example, I'm gonna give you my example. So, if I take I have a time block, right? And my time block is going to be from 9 o'clock to at least 11. So if something was to have to change in all those tasks I have for that day, I got to 11 o'clock to finish that. So that makes me flexible and pivot if I need to. If I wound up working, say I scheduled a project that I'm going to do from 9 to 10, right? But if I've given me that time block from 9 to 11, and I wound up going over my 10 from 10 o'clock, I need some more time, then guess what? I got from 10:30, right? 10 to 10:30 to 11 o'clock. So I have plenty of time. So if I have to go change something out, I have that time. So you want to set it up for that. And that's what I was talking about. And that's what I'm trying to make an example of why not being in a rigid type of schedule. Give yourself leeway because that can happen. And sometimes it really, like when I have to do that, I get panicky because I don't like getting out of my little box if I don't put enough time in that one time box, right? So I have to figure out and I have to quickly say, you know what? Okay, I don't want to do it, but I have to. So sometimes some of your tasks might go over, but the time blocking is to discipline you to say, I'm going to just work on this. If I don't finish it, okay, put the pencil down, close up the computer, go to something else that you have to do, right? Go to the next task. But I'm like this when I say I put myself in that box, that's what I want to do, everything that I have in that box, right? Emails, phone calls, messages, all that is going to go in that box from 9 to 11 o'clock, say a 2 hour span. So with me, if just so happen I have a conversation with a client, right? And the conversation goes over our time. I can't blame them because it could be some other reason why we're going over the time, something that they very much need to clarify something. So we might have to talk a little. Well, I got till 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, I got to 11 o'clock. Once 11 o'clock comes, then I have to know, okay, I'm not going to go over the 11 o'clock and I would have to shorten that conversation and move on to the next task. I don't want to go beyond that 11 o'clock if that was my time block. Okay. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay. Women who practice being flexible often find that they can manage their time and priorities more effectively. This enhances control and leads to improved self esteem as they achieve their personal goals without burden of rigid expectation, which I said that already. Okay. By letting go of the need for perfection, because oh my God, we do that. We want to be perfect at everything, right? Women can explore new opportunities and experiences which further boosts their confidence. Do not, we are not perfect. Let me say this again so you guys can understand. No matter how pretty, no matter how gorgeous your presentation is, you're not perfect. Nobody is. No matter what they say for you to do, we have been sold a bit of goods with a lot of sayings and a lot of indoctrination about being perfect and being this and being that. Lots of times, you guys, you just need to be yourself. I'm saying you can be disciplined in what you're doing and you can be focused on what you're doing, but you don't have to have this rigid schedule. You don't have to feel like you have to be perfect in order to get things done. Okay, basically, is what I'm trying to say here. Flexibility also, it plays a role in stress management. Yeah. If you're able to be flexible, the stress is not there because you already, like I said, I would have been stressed if I didn't have that time block from 9 to, and I went over to 11:30, then I'll start stressing. Well, if I already said, okay, I'm gonna have to cut this conversation off because I have another task I have to do, or you don't have to be rude to anybody if you're dealing with them. You have to tell them, well, thank you for this time. I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna have to do something else or whatever. You know what to tell somebody if you need to tell them that without being, disrespectful or anything. And, like, oh gosh, you're taking up too much of my time. You'll know just what to tell them, right? So that's why flexibility is so crucial when it comes to stress management. You're not going to get that stress because you're already doing the work, right? When women adopt a flexible mindset, they are better equipped to handle the pressures of daily life without becoming overwhelmed, right? I also used example of if you used to have to work late, right? And little Johnny needs to get picked up from the house and he needs to be able to go to his practice for soccer or whatever, or baseball. Well, having a backup plan. Say your neighbor has a child that's that same age and they actually play together and they do things together and they're probably on the team together. You could call your neighbor and say, I'm going to be a little late at work. Is it possible that you can go next door, knock on the door, and tell little Johnny that you're going to take him if you don't mind taking him? Um, we'll do lunch or whatever, whatever the bargain you want to bargain with them. Is it all right if you can, and I will pick him up? So you have that backup plan, right? If you don't have older kids that have cars, that might be somebody or your mother or your father if they're available to be able to do that for you, or even your sister, right? Any family member that can step in to help you have that already set up. And I know this is far fetched because I know everybody doesn't have that, but that's just a simple one I can come up with, an example you can. So you'll feel more confident at work that you can complete what you're doing, right? And then when you're finished, you can go and pick him up, right? So you want to be able to be flexible in that sense. This approach encourages the healthier response to stressor, right? Reducing anxiety and promoting more of a peaceful state of mind, because that's important. The practice of flexibility encourages women to take a step back. Step back, assess the situation, and respond in a way that aligns with your values and priorities. Again, you're stepping back and you're looking at it. Okay, I already know I'm going to be late. I already know that I'm not going to be able to go home and pick up little Johnny and drop him off at practice. So I already have a backup plan in place, and I'd feel more comfortable. I can, like I said, continue doing the work that I'm doing and then go, and then after I'm finished, whatever time is, practice is over, and then you go pick up little Johnny. Or I said but you go pick up little Johnny. So, in personal development coaching, teaching women the art of flexibility can lead to a profound transformations. By embracing change and uncertainty, women can unlock their potential and explore paths that align with their true selves, right? This journey of growth is often accompanied by increased self awareness as women learn to recognize their strengths and weaknesses. So, being flexible might be a strong point you have, or it could be a weak part, a plan you have. Because when we think about professionalism, right, perfectionism. So when we think about being or perfect, flexibility doesn't play a part in there at all, right? So with you being able to be flexible, it helps you kind of relax and say, okay, I can make a mistake, I can do this, I can do that, without being pressured, right? Because sometimes it's kind of hard when you've been, like I said, disciplined or even indoctrinated into thinking that everything you touch, everything you do is perfect. I have a friend that's a perfectionist, and me and her, she was working on one of her projects, and me and her was talking, and she got frustrated with what we were doing, the project we were doing. She was getting frustrated because she was trying to make it perfect. Because I know her personally, so I know that's the type of way she does things. She's very like to the T on everything. And I just told her, I said, try this. Step back away from what you're doing. Okay. And then when you come back to it, just whatever comes out, write it down, do whatever it is. Do not sit there because you're going to drive yourself crazy for this one little thing that's driving you crazy. Step back, take a deep breath, and just let it flow. And when we talked again, she's like, Salita, that was so, it helped me so much, right? Because she was so hell bent on trying to make something perfect when it didn't need to be perfect. But because she was so indoctrinated and so hell bent on this perfection thing, and she know it's a problem. She admitted, and that's why I said when you have friends that know their flaws and they can talk to you about their flaws, and then you notice certain things that they do, and you can say something about it without hurting their feelings, right? You'll see how comfortable it is to just tell them, right? To just basically tell them. She felt so much better because she said, I just did it. She said, I stopped stressing myself out about trying to make it perfect, and I just did it and it came out great. Yes, because we spend too much time doing that. Just let it flow. Let it flow. Your creativity doesn't come wrapped, okay, in a perfect little box. Your creativity is all over the place. Now, whether you want to take time out and organize it, you can do that, but don't spend too much time on that. That takes away from the gift of creativity. Let it flow, let it happen, you know? And it's nothing wrong with having a script to go by or some directions to go by, even some steps to go by. But either way it goes, just let it flow. Let your creativity flow. And I know that's hard for some people. Believe me, I know. I have to have this, all T's have to be crossed and all I's have to be dotted. Sometimes just relax because you stress yourself out trying to make perfection. And after a while, you start really, really messing up because you're concentrating on being perfect and you keep making these mistakes because you're concentrating on the wrong thing. You're not concentrating on the project itself, you're concentrating on how it's going to come out. So you see what I'm saying? So you have to be very, very careful. Everything is not going to be perfect. Okay? Everything is not. And I don't think our world, if we really, really love our life, we'll know that it doesn't have to be. And having the ability to see what your strengths are and your weaknesses are is awesome. So you know, hey, I know, hey, I'm not good in this over here, but I'm good over here. And you use that. And then you can also balance out your weakness and your strength. You can balance them out. And there's nothing wrong with having weaknesses either, okay? So by embracing change and uncertainty, women can unlock their potential and explore parts, excuse me, paths that align with their true selves. Authenticity, right? This journey of growth is often accompanied by increased self awareness. So you're more watching yourself, you're more aware of the things that you're doing, and you feel more comfortable than what you did when you're trying to be perfect, right? As women learn to recognize their strengths and weaknesses, such insights fuel their confidence and inspire them to take bold steps toward their aspirations. So you no longer feel like, okay, I'm not going to do this because it's not going to come out perfect. I'm not going to work on that project. I'm just going to put that to the side till I get perfect. You're not perfect, okay? You're not. I know that's a reality check for some people. You're not perfect. Okay? You're not. Just can you accept that? Can you look at the mirror and say, you know what, I'm not perfect, but I'm great. Right? I'm not perfect, but I'm great. I prefer to be great. I don't even want to be perfect. I think it takes away from me if I try to be perfect about everything. But I battled that just like everybody else does, especially women of color. We have all these different things that are thrown at us all the time. You need to be skinny, you need to have a small waistline, you need to have a big butt, you need to have wide hips, you need to have long hair, you need to have this, and it's always thrown at us constantly all the time. We need to and what happens is I was watching somebody talking about that, and they said we start looking like each other. And are we really doing this for us, or are we doing it to satisfy other people? Right? Think about it. So are we really wanting to be perfect for ourselves, or do we want to be perfect so that we can show off our perfection to other people? That's not helping you. Okay? Because you're not excuse me, you're not taking that ability, the power you have within, it's hiding because you're spending too much time trying to be like everybody else instead of just being yourself. I'm telling you guys, it is a freedom to feel like yourself and stop compounding in your head that you have to look a certain way. You don't. And it's easy for me to say that because I've kind of gotten a little bit over that because I still look. When I tell you guys, I when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me too. I do not exclude myself from what I'm saying here because it's still certain things. Still, I'm like, oh no, I better not do that. I better not say that, or this constant trying to um, present myself in a certain way instead of just be yourself. Just be yourself. And sometimes people don't like being themselves. You have to learn. But if you love yourself, it won't be hard for you to do it. I promise you. It's not hard to do. Okay. So ultimately, the benefits of flexibility are manifold, impacting various aspects of a woman's life, right? From enhanced confidence to effective stress management, right? Flexibility paves the way for personal development and growth. By adopting a flexible approach, women can thrive in a chaotic world, turning challenges into opportunities for empowerment and success. Being able to be flexible is such a great asset as women of color and as we navigate through this crazy, crazy world where there's many a times when people ignore us, when people, want to belittle us in their own little subtle ways, the microaggressions that we deal with, we can be flexible. Another way of saying it, we talked about a while back, I think we talked about code switching, being able to, whatever situation you're in, you're able to adapt to that situation. And one thing I can say for me personally, I learned a lot about being able to be flexible in the military. Um, Having the discipline, the focus, and also being able to be adaptable and flexible. I definitely learned a lot of that in the military. But also, women of color, we learn that when it comes to survival mode too, because it's something we always feel like we need to be in. So we always have to be able to be constantly changing things, right? Because things change for us all the time. So it's very important that we pay attention to that. We pay attention to how we have to be so flexible in our lives, right? And we're flexible sometimes in things that we really don't want to be flexible in, but we have no other choice. We have to do that, right? So, strategies for coping with change. Um, Change is an inevitable part of life, and how we respond to it can significantly impact our overall well being. Change and flexibility go hand in hand. For women navigating the complexities of modern life, right? Developing effective coping strategies are crucial. Yeah, we have to be able to do that. Embracing change with an open mind allows us to transform potential stressors into opportunities for growth and self discovery. By recognizing that change can lead to new beginnings, we cultivate resilience in the face of uncertainty. Being able to change, being able to adapt to change, because sometimes we're not able to do that. Okay. Um, when things happen to us, it's not like we predict them to happen, but when they happen, lots of times our response to things that started to happen to us, it's I'm not changing. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. When reality is, oh, yeah, you have no other choice because guess what? Life is going to push you to do that change. No matter what you're saying, it's going to push you to make that change in your life, one way or the other. And you have to understand that everything you think everything is bad, like when something we think is negative or we perceive as negative happens to us, sometimes it's not really something negative happening to us. It's something that needs to happen in order for us to move forward on our journey, right? I call them in my book, How Does Your Garden Grow, stumbling blocks. Sometimes the stumbling blocks need to be there because with them stumbling blocks in the place, guess what happens? You're able you're able to recognize the stumbling blocks and then deal with them accordingly. Okay. That's where the change come in. Okay. Things are not like they're supposed to be. Stumbling blocks come in place. Now you have to make a change. Or you can step over them, but it's not going to change the situation. Instead of stepping over them, that's like avoiding them. Deal with them, face them, deal with those stumbling blocks. Okay. One effective strategy is to practice mindfulness. Okay. Um, by staying present, because sometimes that's hard because we want to linger in the past and we want to hang out in the future, right? When sometimes we just need to stay where we at and deal with what's going on here at this present moment. By being present and aware, we can observe our thoughts and our feelings without becoming overwhelmed by them. Because, like, lots of times when we worry about what happened in the past, we become very heavy. Like, we come have our mind, our hearts, our emotions become heavy. And then we're thinking about, oh my God, okay, so tomorrow I got to do this. I got to make sure this is taken care of. So and then if you're worried about the past, I don't want what happened this time happen before, again. So you stress out about that. And then you're looking in the future. Well, I want to make sure this is in place. And then you forget about what's going on right now. And sometimes you just need to be still in the present moment. Just need to be still and leave everything where it is. You have a space for your past and you have a space for your future. Leave them alone for right now. Okay, close those curtains right now and just deal with what's going on right at that very moment in your life. How are you feeling right now? At this very moment, how are you feeling? Kind of ask yourself that. When you feel that anxiety and that stressfulness come on, how do I feel right now? Is it just stress? And what's causing the stress? Is it something going on right now in my life that's causing my stress? Or am I worried about the rent for next week or the car note that is due next week? You understand what I'm saying? Or a project that is due that has to get, I have to make that deadline next week. Not something that's going on right at this very moment, but something that needs to be done next week in the future, or some unfinished projects in the past. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're right here at this moment, right here, deal with what's going on at this very moment in your life. Ask yourself those questions. What is going on right now in my life that is affecting how I'm feeling? Okay. Um, so, mindfulness techniques such as meditation and deep breathing exercises can help ground us during tumultuous times. The practice not only calms the mind, but also fosters a sense of control over our reactions to change, ultimately embracing our confidence and self esteem. Okay, so in that time, once you ask yourself that question, take a deep breath. I think we have some breathing exercises in here that we talked about earlier because you need to be here. Just say, I need to be here right now, this moment. Calm down. Quit stressing about something you have no control over because it's happening in the future for one thing, right? And it's already happened in the past. Be right here. Meditate right here. And that's why I asked that question, right? Okay. Another powerful approach is to create a support network surrounding ourselves with positive, like minded individuals can provide encouragement and perspective during challenging transitions. So, when change comes, say there's a change at work, right? You have a new boss coming in, and the boss is really going to be making some serious changes. Um, or serious changes you need to make at home, or serious changes you need to make in your business, right? So you're going to have to move around some things, right? So you have to figure out how can you do this without being stressed out doing it, right? But you have to know that there has to be a change that has to be made, right? You can recognize that, right? And you own it, right? But how am I going to feel once I make that change? Or how am I going to feel coming up to creating that change? Because sometimes we get so stressed out just the thought of, oh my God, I got to change offices. Now I got to pack all this stuff up. Just little things we just take us through these different, and it's unnecessary. When the time comes, all of that will, everything will fall into place when it needs to. Watch. Everything will fall into place. Do not stress yourself out over unnecessary stuff, right? Um, and having the people in your corner, having like-minded people, they can also help you because lots of times when you have a good group of people that you have got a tribe with, they can come with suggestions how to handle that change that'll make it more easier on you, right? So that's why it's important to have a good networking, a network or support system, because it says that individuals can provide encouragement and perspective, yes, during challenging transitions, right? Putting things in perspective, because sometimes when things are happening, we're all over the place. And sometimes if you just sit back and somebody's kind of guiding you and talking to you, and you're like, man, okay, you know what? I like that. I'm gonna try that and see how that works. You know? And you want that, right? Um, it says here, sharing experiences and feelings with friends and family, right? Support group fosters a sense of belonging. All of us is going through something, right? Right? Like we all going through something. What are you going through? So you listen to what they're going through. What are you going through right now? What is a major change is happening in your life right at this very moment? You want to talk about it, and you guys talk about it. And you sit back and say, "Whoo, wow, I'm over here stressing about my changes. I'm thinking about boy, their changes are worse than my changes, right?" You get a chance, and then you can encourage them as well as them encouraging you, right? This connection reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and can help us navigate change with greater ease. So now you have somebody that's right there with you, supporting you, and you're supporting them. So you want to be able, because in the process of having people that you can talk to, you want to be able to suggest to them as well as they suggest to you. You don't sit there and just let everybody do all the work and you don't give. You don't have no feedback, or you don't have no interaction with them. You want to say, okay, now have you ever thought about doing it like this? Okay, all right, and they'll be able to do the same thing to you. So you want that back and forth with them because you're learning. You're in the process of learning. We're all in the process of learning. You never stop learning things, right? So you all, both you and the whole group, um, are actually learning from each other. And to me, I think that is awesome. Additionally, it says setting clear goals can give us direction amidst the chaos of change, right? When we identify specific, achievable objectives, we can channel our energy into productive actions rather than fixating on uncertainties. Yes, breaking these goals into smaller, manageable steps allows us to celebrate our progress, reinforcing a sense of accomplishment and boosting our self esteem. So, if there is a big project, in the change in the project, you lost a person. Say you have a team, right? And in the process, you lost a person, and this person played a vital part in finishing and completing the project, right? And they're gone. Now, you, first and foremost, that's a major change is happening because this person played a great part in that. Before that person goes, they've already sat down with you and step by step gave you everything you needed to do. Now, it might take you a little bit longer to finish that project because you had a major change, right? But you already have the steps to go by, right? To make sure that project, the part that the change was made, that project gets completed because they've given you everything you need. Now, you might, because that's not your forte part of the, you don't have that. They can kind of guide you through that part, right? But you might get worried and stressed out because you don't know if you're doing it correctly. Well, if they give you the right instructions and they're available to answer the question just in case you get stuck somewhere, don't it's no need to worry about it because they've already given you, they're telling you, if you need some help on something, just let me know, hit me up, send me an email, right? Give me a call and we can discuss it because I want you to finish this project. I want this project completed, but I had to do something else instead, like they had to get pulled off the project. So if you have that kind of conversation you're having with them, they're going to be available for you either way it goes, right? And you want to have that kind of open relationship with them so you can, because they don't want to see your project being sabotaged first and foremost. Okay, they definitely don't want to see your project being sabotaged, so they're going to work with you. Okay, because it's part of what they've already started, right? Lastly, in embracing a mindset of adaptability is valuable vital, excuse me. Viewing change as an opportunity for growth rather than setback encourages a more flexible approach to life's challenges. By accepting that setbacks are natural part of the journey, we cultivate resilience and we learn to bounce back stronger every time. You know, the black woman knows all about bouncing back. She knows how to bounce back when things come her way. We're gonna make it happen. I had put a post up before, and I said, basically, I just said, men complain about paying bills. I said, something about the ideal of if a man's complaining about paying bills, do you understand that that's part of being a man and that's part of being adult? And I said, women do it all the time. We make ends meet when ends ain't meeting, right? And I made that statement because I wanted to encourage women, no matter what, you know, they might be over there complaining, but you guys make it happen no matter what. Our kids have no idea what we go through to make sure they have food on the table. And I'm not saying you're doing anything nefarious or anything like that. I'm just saying we have to figure out. We're always in a planning stage when it comes to our children, or when we come to our situations, our financial, our work. We always in a mode of trying to make sure, again, talking the survival mode, to make sure everything is done. So to me, with us being able to do that, that's a strong point in itself, that we're able to make things happen when we're not supposed to, or there's no way that's going to happen, but we make it happen regardless. Some kind of way we come through, right? So we can complain, but we really don't have that opportunity or that leeway to complain. because we're always the ones who's making things happen, right? So keep that in mind. Excuse me. This shift in perspective not only reduces stress, but also empowers us to thrive in an ever evolving world. So something is always going on, things are always changing. You just have to know that you're in the flow of that change. So let's say, so we're talking finding opportunities and challenges. So in the journey of life, challenges often feel like insurmountable obstacles, right? Especially for women striving to maintain balance in a chaotic world. However, it is essential to recognize that within every challenge lies an opportunity for growth and self discovery. Okay. So I think I said earlier, when it comes to challenges, we don't always need to look at it as a bad thing. Okay. Every challenge is not a bad thing. And every challenge comes with lessons. Okay. We're either going to be up for the challenge or we're going to allow that challenge to take over us. And then we don't get anything done. And we don't complete the task. And we don't work on our goals. And we don't make the things that need to happen. And then now we're starting to fool with our self esteem, what we've accomplished. All those things start coming to play when this happens, right? It says here, however, it is essential to recognize that within every challenge lies an opportunity for growth and self discovery. Embracing these difficulties can lead to enhanced confidence and a deeper understanding of one's capabilities. When we shift our perspective, yes, to view obstacles as stepping stones, wow, rather than barriers, right, we empower ourselves to thrive amidst adversity. So, okay. So, for instance, um, something that you're afraid of doing, you have a phobia for, right? Say you want to get over this phobia that you have for a particular situation, particular thing, right? So, wouldn't that be considered a challenge? That phobia? Can you turn that phobia, which is a fear of something, can you turn that into something different, like victory over that phobia, right? But now you can tolerate, you're no longer scared of that thing. Now, how do you do that? How do you do that? It depends on what it is, first and foremost. And what comes to mind is Nike, just do it. But I know that's not easy because it depends on what the situation is. What is it that you're afraid of? So you have to think on the grounds of what is this, whatever this thing is, or this situation I'm in that keeps me afraid. I can't move forward. I can't actually make it happen until I change how I think. No longer be fearful of that situation. Okay. But how do you do that? You do that by facing it. Yeah, you do it by facing it. I have a fear of snakes. I'm telling you right now, I will not face that fear. I'll run before I want to face that. That's just me. Um, anything else I think, oh, I know. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Horses. I love horses. I think they're beautiful, but I'm scared of horses. How do I face that fear? I actually wanted to ride one. The only time I've ever been on a horse is when I was a little girl. This was crazy. And a man was taking pictures and he would come around with his pony. And you get on the pony and he give you this little vest to put on and you take the picture in the pony and the vest. Yeah, on top of the pony and the vest. And so we actually did it. That's the only time I've ever been on a horse. But as a grown up, no, I'm scared of horses. I love them. I think they're beautiful to look at, but I am scared of them. The way that I face that fear is to actually go ride a horse, right? And then that fear or that phobia will go away. But I haven't gotten to that point yet. So, for instance, facing a stressful situation, we just talked about at work, right? can unveil hidden talents, inspiring us to pursue a different career path or develop new skills. By adopting this perspective, we not only alleviate stress, you guys, but we also boost our self-esteem and confidence. So if I would have taken on riding on that horse, getting on the horse and riding it, I would feel much better, I think. But I would not get on the horse by myself. Somebody has to be on the horse with me. I'm not doing it. Okay. But I think horses are beautiful. Down the road from me are about 3 houses down. They had horses. I don't think they had the horses out for the winter, but they had horses. And sometimes when we walk the dogs, we'll see the horses. I would be too scared to touch them, but I would be looking at them. And if they come up to the fence, I'm taking off, right? Moreover, it is vital to surround ourselves with a supportive network, engaging with like minded women who share similar experiences can provide encouragement and clarity. That's right, having that different perspective on how you're handling your challenges. These connections foster a sense of belonging and remind us that we're not alone facing our challenges, right? By sharing stories and strategies, we learn from one another and create collective strengths and propels us. This propels us forward. That yeah, hey, I can do this now. Um, this community can be powerful catalyst for personal development, helping us harness our inner strength when confronted with difficulties. I want to say difficulties, challenges, and fears, right? So if you're able to do that and you have people in your corner, it's easy to make something happen. Like I just said, if somebody um, that I know had horses, or I know that person, we're probably in a group together, whatever, and it's like, well, I want to take you on the horse. Okay, I'll trust them that when I get on that horse, they're going to be right there with me. I'll trust them in that, and then that would be like one of my phobias that I was like, ooh, yes, I got rid of that. In addition to seeking support, proactive self care is crucial in navigating challenges. What are we talking about? Proactive care, right? What is proactive care? Preparing yourself. Reactive is when you react to something that already took place. Proactive is preparing ourselves prior to anything happening, right? And knowing and having the answers already prior to the situation happening also helps, right? um, Taking time to nurture our mental and emotional well-being equips us with tools needed to face life's inevitable ups and downs. So preparing yourself mentally and emotionally to deal with things um, that can be very challenging. Um, Another example, and again, I like to use my example. Um, my mom passed away in April. My sister passed away in May, right behind each other. I think it was like 30 something days, maybe 20 something days behind each other. Same year. That was a challenge for my whole family because we knew my mom was there already. We were already told about my mom. My sister was a whole nother ball game. Getting through that main challenge, that that challenge, that was hard. And accepting it was hard. And still accepting it because we're still trying to get through it because it was something so unexpected, right? So getting through the process of the ideal, I can't pick up the phone and call her and mess with her and fuss at her, right? And have those long, deep sister conversations that we had. You know, that was a challenge for me. My mom was something they prepped us for. We were not prepped for my sister. Do you see the difference and how we're we are handling things? We were prepped for my mom because my mom was 87 years old. My mom had dementia and Alzheimer's. So we were prepared for her. We just wasn't prepared for my sister. And for them to be that close, do you know what the challenge was for us to deal with that? And like I said, we're all still in the days, even though it's been 3 years, it's going on 3 years now. We're still in the days because it's like, right? And being able to deal with that, so that I can help you with that. Okay, so good evening. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, awesome. So getting through that was really, really challenging for us, you know, as a family, right? Um, in addition to seeking support, proactive self care is crucial in navigating challenges. Taking time to nurture our mental and emotional well being equips us with tools needed to face life's inevitable ups and downs. Techniques such as mindfulness, we talked about that, meditation, keep up with the time, and journaling can help women gain clarity. I told you on my last leg of my journal for my notebook. It's time. Matter of fact, I definitely got to get another. It's time for me because I've already used up all my pages. Well, I've already used up the months in here. Let me, oh, wait. Let me see. Oh, I did. So the last one is January in this book. January is my last one. So now it's time for me to buy another notebook. Now I can either buy another notebook or I can just go ahead and get me another planner. But I think I might do it with the notebook because I can write other things in here, right? I have plenty, and the pages are bigger than most planners are. So I'm probably going to go ahead and purchase me another 5 subject notebook and turn it into my vision board, right? So it's my vision board and all my journaling, right, in here. So that's a good thing. These practices not only reduce stress, but also reinforce our ability to find opportunities within challenges, right? Cultivating a sense of empowerment and self assurance is so important, right? Okay, we got one. So, ultimately, embracing challenges as opportunities for growth is transformative approach is a transformative, approach that can lead to profound changes in our lives by developing a resilient mindset, fostering support, relationships, and prioritizing self-care. Who can thrive in a chaotic world? It is through this journey of discovery that we uncover our true potential, allowing us to rise above difficulties, emerge in stronger and more confident and ready to embrace whatever rolls our way. And this is the picture. I don't think you can see that. This is the picture that you'll see in the ebook. See? That's the picture because I put pictures in it because it's good to look at. So, chapter 8 was creating a stress free environment, organizing your space. Oh my God, this is going to be a good one next time we come in. This is going to be an awesome one because I can talk about organizing stuff. That's fun. So, yeah, so our next time, that's going to be Wednesday. Remember, first Monday, if you want to, once I send out my invite for the webinar, or I keep saying webinar, I don't want to use that word. It's an older word, presentation. Um, if you're interested in becoming, want to be, how do we say that? Send me your email if you want to be invited to our presentation on Monday. First Mondays of every month, you get yourself started for the rest of the month. Um, is why I do this because I know it can be rough. It can definitely be rough. So we will be starting off on creating a stress-free environment when we come back Wednesday, right? Um, So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys back here Wednesday. Before Wednesday, what else? Trying to think of anything else I have to tell you about. Oh, so Wednesday we do this Saturdays and Wednesdays. Okay, Saturdays at 7:30, Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. Um, On Thursday, I have my Empower Her talk show, okay, on public access. That's at 7 o'clock on Thursday. So you can go to AOC Inc., AOCinc.org at 7 o'clock on Thursdays. It's on channel two, I think it's channel two. Yes, channel two. And you can check us out over there. Um, and then we have our other show we do, which is the Can We Be Frank show. We do that every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Um, so we'll be that's like our that's the show I do with my son, and I have a crew of people that I got. Miss Dixon is part of it, Miss Bell, Miss Finley, Miss Hall. So all those people are part of our little crew on those that day that show. Okay, we're all on Facebook, so you can catch us on Facebook. You can catch me on Facebook. You can go to my Facebook page. You can also check out our website. You, you can't clip my wings. Um, we do have. I told you I'm not playing about the radio station. It is already. I just have to launch it, but I still have some more tweaks that I want to work on. And I want to be able to do this show live on the radio at the same time. So that's going to be fun. So what I do is with this, I record this, and then I can actually, if you can't hear me on here, or if you want to hear it again, replay, you can always go back and watch all these shows, right? Because it's in replay on here. But you're also going to be able to listen to them on my on the radio station. Okay. So I'm excited. Um, so we're going to go ahead and close out the show. I want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me. You guys have a great evening and bye bye.